Well, hi everybody. It is late. It is midnight, about a Thursday evening, almost Friday morning. And my husband and I have been enjoying some of the evenings. We're almost an empty nester in 9 months and we're starting early. So we went out to visit one of our daughters and just got home from a late night date. So I thought, it is 10 o'clock in California. So somewhere around the world, it's still kind of early. So I just wanted to get on. It's been some time since I haven't gone on. I wanted to share with you some of the things that I have been sharing with you over the last several months, and share with you some of the results, share with you some of the things that have happened from doing some of the things that I told you about. So anyway, I thought, while I had a chance, get on here and say a quick hi. We've talked so much about the pie thing, the pie that has different kinds of ideas that are in our head, projects that we want to do, and, different things that we want to participate in. And when that pie is full, then nothing else can go in. And so, those of you who've been following me, I talk about this pie so much. I talk about a pie, and, each individual slice is an idea, a project, something that takes up space. And so whenever we have so many pieces in the pie that are full, nothing else can go in, nothing else can come in, and it's super hard. And then so what happens is there's overwhelm. So today, I unloaded something that has been a project that's been on my plate since November. And, many of you who follow know I was running a keto group, and it was wonderful. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about my health. I learned a lot about all the things that went with it. Great relationships that were made, super things that were shared by other people, and just getting to know everybody and everything, and to know more about myself, about my health. And so, I had to make a decision. We are coming up in certain stages of our life where our youngest of 8 kids is graduating, and there's just so many emotions and things that have happened over the last few months where my husband sat down with me one night and told me, honey, you really don't have to be working this hard anymore. And so I thought to myself, okay, I don't have to work so hard anymore. And so I have been unloading, and I have been, today I was on my Facebook just getting rid of Facebook groups that I'm no longer in, no longer want to run. And I've just been shedding, and it's felt wonderful. Today, I was telling my husband, okay, you can go ahead and go to sleep. I'm just going to finish getting these things done. And so it feels amazing. So, one of the reasons I want to share that with you, because many of you probably feel the same thing. There's some things in your life right now where you feel that you have to do it, that you have to show up, that you are expected to do it, I guess. And, I've lived my life so much like that. And that can lead to the overwhelm that we talk about, and to do the things that we really just don't want to do. And so, as much as I love so many things that I do and all the different projects that I do, I had to start literally writing them down and just deciding that, okay, this is not what I'm going to be doing. This is not my focus. This is not my calling. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they were talking about following your calling rather than your, oh gosh, I wish I remember the name, but it just talked about how sometimes, we flow through life, we go into our life and we do things because we feel like we are expected to do it. People expect it of us. This is what I probably should be doing rather than I want to be doing. And so I've done a lot of soul searching. I've been doing a lot of praying. I've been doing a lot of writing down my thoughts, my ideas of where I really want to put my focus. And so today, as much as I loved running my keto group, I let it go today for the second time, and it is for good this time. And someone has taken over, and that's great. And I just felt this sense of, as much as, like I say, I loved it, I felt this sense of relief just off my shoulders. And now, because, the pie that we're talking about, because I removed something which was a huge piece of the pie, now I can feel it. Today when I went to dinner with my husband, he just says, honey, I haven't seen you light up like this in so long. And I was just telling him all of my ideas of, what I want to be focusing on and what I feel I need to be doing. And so, these past few weeks, a lot of the time I have days that I've just spent with grandkids, literally like coloring, reading, sitting on the floor, swimming, painting with them, and I have no guilt. I didn't feel like I had to be on a webinar. I didn't feel like I had to be, on a phone call or running a group or whatever it is, and it's like I felt free. And so, this pie that I talk about for over the last several months for so long, many of those pieces are starting to become where I can fill it with other things, such as playing my guitar, writing more music, spending more time learning about what helps me to become healthy, what helps me to be, stronger, what helps my mind to be more focused. And, going back to my meditation my meditation that I do daily, that helps me to feel calm, to feel peaceful. And so, because I am letting go of so many things, even though it's hard, I am excited about all of the things that I'm able to put into that just brings me so much more happiness. And so, I had somebody private message me today when I, let go of the keto group. Why? You work so hard, and, all this stuff that you were doing and this and that. And I thought, there are some things in life that we do. We work super hard at, and we feel like, okay, I just worked so hard at this, so I have to grip onto it and hold onto it as tight as I can and just make it work. And, I'm learning, and I hope that you can learn from this as well, that sometimes, at the time that we're doing it, it's like that is, it was serving us and serving the purpose. And then after a while, it's like, this isn't serving me anymore as far as, giving me the satisfaction that I need to continue to do it. And so anyway, I'm going more toward my, personal development retreats arena, which I've been talking about for so long. And, even though I'm still involved in the e-commerce community as far as, buying and selling online and things like that, I'm actually making the decision to, and this is the first time I've said this on film. And so I'm actually probably going to be slowly, if not, maybe not even slowly, pull out of just doing Amazon. Oh my goodness. A lot of people are going to freak out about that, but I just don't really enjoy it as much as I used to. It doesn't really excite me like it used to when I would wake up in the morning. And so as I'm waking up in the morning, this thing with my son of 8 kids, I'm becoming an empty nester. It's just really getting me to think, how do I want to spend my days? Where do I want to spend my time? And that's what I'm focusing on. And, the other day I took literally an hour and sat down and wrote out music and notes, and I just felt so happy. And I'm like, I've been raising my 8 kids for literally 33 years. And now over the next 8 or 9 months, as we're transitioning into empty nesters, I'm literally trying to, figure out, like I say, how I want to spend my time. And, we have a lot of things that are already in place that are on autopilot, residual income kind of stuff. And instead of having 20 million projects like I've had for the last 30 years, I've narrowed it down to 2 or 3 that I absolutely love and I get excited about. And it doesn't take up very much of my day. It might take, 2 hours of my time a day. And so I'm still able to be in the business arena of doing the entrepreneurial things that I love, but I'm done with, taking up all of my time. Do you know what I mean? Like waking up and feeling I have to answer emails, and waking up and I feel and feeling like I have to go run this group or respond to this person or respond to that or whatever. And I still, have a lot of conversations and relationships. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I want to live my life more fully, I guess, and be more present. And, I've been actually teaching a lot of my older kids, this lesson of, when people are talking to you, to not have to feel like you have to be on your phone for everything. And, I've lived my life in such a mode of being so on the go all the time that, almost like this COVID stay-at-home stuff has really kind of opened up my eyes as well as to what is really important to me and where is it that I really want to be serving. What am I best at in helping people? And I can help them in this way, this way, this way, this way. There's so many ways to do things and so many opportunities, and I have to just kind of decide. And so the same for you. What is it that you are, what is it that you are passionate about, and what is it that you really want to do? Because I have been literally burning the candle on both ends for so many years, and I'm tired of it. I'm just tired of living my life in such a rush mode all the time. Over the past year, I was in a mastermind group with some amazing people, and every week we met on a call, and I remember them always telling me, you need to slow down. You need to not be so stressed out. You need to not be running all the time. And I am finally learning what that all is, as far as like not, we can, sometimes like in our work and like being an entrepreneur, it's really easy to feel like we're being, making progress in something because we're busy doing busy work. We're checking emails, we're checking our social media and things like that. And I don't know, I am, like learning to really slow down for the first time in a long time. And I know sometimes I'll fall back into myself of running and feeling like I have to do this and do that. Oh, there's this great opportunity. You're on this email list. I have unsubscribed. Here's a couple things that I've been doing because I told you I'd be doing. I've been unsubscribing to a lot of emails, even though it's like, I think I might want to read that, but I'm just kind of like narrowing down my list. I'm using a service that just helps me to clear my emails, as far as like, I don't want to be receiving these anymore. It just distracts me from what I'm really wanting to do, right? So, our emails and social media, Facebook groups, how many Facebook groups are we in? There's only so many that you can be in to where it doesn't overwhelm you. So you can pick a few that you're going to be in. So what I've been doing is I've been unsubscribing from my email lists. I've been unsubscribing or leaving Facebook groups that I no longer, I'm going to be active in. So then it doesn't show up all the time, and my social media is not just, so full of everything that I'm not going to even be doing anymore. And that's kind of hard for me because I've been doing this for so long, and so I am feeling amazing, and every day. And that the other thing too is like just clearing all that out. But I've also been talking to you guys about clearing out like clutter, and like we are to a point where we're going to be empty nesters, like I say. So my husband and I are wanting to be prepared, and a year from now, or 8 or 9 months, however long, by next summer, to be basically the nomadic lifestyle, to where if at any moment we want to go travel, then we can, and then I don't have all this stuff. Like sometimes when we have so much stuff in our life, it's like it takes up that pie that we talk about, right? When we have things and stuff and ideas and businesses that are just like keeping us from really knowing who we are and what we want to be doing. And that's kind of what I've been learning over the last year. And, sometimes we think we understand that we know it. And like with me, I'm like, I know. But do I really know? And I've been living it. I've been feeling it. I've been doing it. And it's been feeling amazing. So if you are feeling overwhelmed, like in your business or in your life, you can take a step back and, like I'm looking at this office and I've been going from corner to corner, and I look at it, it feels amazing because like this corner is clean and like everything here I want. And, I at any moment I can get rid of it, and it's easy. I've been working on my clothes, that I've had for forever over the last several years, and gave away tons of bags of clothes to my daughters. And they were happy, to receive them. And I was happy to think I reach for the same things anyway. I'm in a totally different stage of life now where like, we don't really go out as much anymore. I, wear comfortable clothes at home or whatever. So, uncluttering closets, uncluttering the house, uncluttering your Facebook groups, your Instagram accounts, whatever, your social media. It's really good to take the time to really make a list of where you spend your time. And the way I did this is I took like a piece of paper, And I said, okay, what time do I get up in the morning? 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, whatever. And I go to sleep, like, I know it's midnight right now, but and I go to bed about midnight. So I have between 6 a.m. to midnight of time, right? And I'm like, what do I do in that time? So I might say, okay, from this time to this time I'm exercising, this time to this time I'm, reading scriptures, and this time I'm doing whatever. I'm spending time with grandkids, lunch. I'm working 2 hours in my business. I take a short nap every day. I try to anyway, a 20-minute power nap or so. And then, I spend some time with my husband, my family. There's just so much time in the day. And so you ask yourself, where am I spending my time? It's like, where is my effort going toward? And then you look at that paper that you made and you say, is this where I want to be spending it? And if it's not, you have to make that very difficult decision, like even today, letting go of something that I've been working on for 8 months, a keto group that, we built it up organically, almost 2,000 members, and, wonderful group of people. And I learned a lot. I learned from them. Hopefully they learned from me. And I'm like, it's really hard to give this up because, we work so hard for it. But I have to ask myself, but what do I want to put in that pie? And so anyway, I've just been feeling a lot lighter as far as like, what I'm carrying and the load and loads that I'm carrying in business, and like I say, in my everyday life. And so it's pretty cool whenever you can do that, when you have that to where you can clear it to where you put in whatever you want to put in, in whatever areas of your life, whether it be spiritual, physical, emotional, working on your relationships, working on your music, or whatever it is for you. Because you release some of the things, then you're able to fill it with other things that you want to be doing, right? Or that makes you happy, or that, now I can, be more involved in like a nonprofit organization for the sex trafficking project that's going on with, that's just going on, and all of the different things. And so anyway, today my husband and I talked a lot about some of the ideas that we've been wanting to do, and finally setting up our nonprofit, and spending some energies there, spending some energies on each other. We have so much more fun right now because like we are both stepping away from our business more, outsourcing it more to other people, or letting it go to where we're able to focus on each other. We're focusing on our children, on our grandchildren, on, hey, we want to be traveling or whenever, in 8 or 9 months. And so what do we have to do to put that in place? And so every day I'm excited. It's hard for me to sleep at night sometimes because I'm just super excited about the next day. And maybe it's just more things that are going to get decluttered, and more ideas of, how to, fulfill my dream of, a specific nonprofit thing that I'm trying to do. So, I'm spending more time reading, physical books, more time reading my scripture reading and things like that. And so, out of that list that you're making and that piece of paper that has all the time stuff, you have to ask yourself, like somewhere in there, I need to put the important steps. And so that I make sure that that gets put in first, the example of the jar and putting in the large rocks first so that the little rocks can fit in next. Because if you put in the little rocks, then you can't put in the big rocks. And so I think that's super important, as you are evaluating that all, to put in the most important things first. So that if you're tired and the day goes by and you're like, oh, I didn't get to this and this and this, the good news is that you got your important things in. And usually the night before, and I learned this from some of my mentors, you pick 3 things or even 1 thing that you want to make sure that you get done the next day, right? And that way, if you get tired or other things get in the way, then, your top 3 things that you want to get done got done. So anyway, that's kind of what I've been up to. I know that, it's hard sometimes, like I say, to leave certain things that you've been doing for so long because you want to, it's like a door, I read somewhere yesterday on an Instagram post, and I know it's a saying too, like when one door closes, another door opens. And I feel that for myself, like I'm going back to, oh, I will just finish telling you too some of the other things I'm doing because you were asking, is, affiliate marketing, which is kind of where I started so many years ago. I enjoy that, building, and then I'm actually working on my own products that I can create in the personal development space to where that will eventually turn into you coming to my retreats. I was supposed to have my first retreat in May, but of course with the COVID stuff, it, got canceled. So hopefully, depending on what happens next year, that can happen. But I'm just saying, like, I enjoy that because it's stuff that I do every day. I am working on trying to better myself and get back to my podcast. I've let my podcast slip. Why? Because I let all these other things take over. And that's what I'm saying. Like when you have that pie, it's like, because this is so full, it's like nothing else can fit in. Or maybe you're doing it and then something goes over here and you're like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. And then you feel just super scattered. And so now it's like, this is what I want to work on. I want to get back to my podcast. I want to get back to, just really developing the personal development niche and developing that for my arena and my retreats and everything. And I'm still doing, like some e-commerce stuff, like with my Shopify stores and my Gear Bubble stores and, doing some of that. But I'm just saying that I'm going to be doing less and less Amazon FBA stuff. What? I know some of you guys are on here on e-commerce and you're like, what? I can't believe it. But yeah, I'm done. I think I'm just done. I just want to do other things where I'm not worrying about inventory. And, it used to be exciting to me. Amazon's making it harder and harder. And it's just not my favorite thing anymore. I'm not saying it's not, you can't make money with it anymore, but I'm just saying it's like personally for myself, I'm like, there's other things that I'm doing and I'm just loving it. I'm loving not having to worry about tying up my capital and worrying about IP scores and, what Amazon's going to say tomorrow and things like that. Anyway, those of you who are not in e-commerce may not understand that, but those who are know what I'm talking about. And so I am going to do more things that, can bring in the residual income, but take less of my time and more where I can outsource it to my virtual assistants to where I'm like gonna sit on a beach. Anyway, it's late. I just wanted to get on and say hi. I wanted to share with you some of my thoughts, hopefully encourage you in some ways to do the same for yourself, in this regard. And, just with everything else going on in the world, it's like, okay, there's just a lot of stuff going on. But we need to make time, like, to focus on some of the things like ourselves and our family and remember that we have to do self-care. And part of that self-care is removing the things that bring us stress. So I'm feeling lighter. I'm feeling less stress and it feels amazing. And I had a wonderful date with my husband today. We 2 dates in a row, which is amazing and a miracle because we're both so busy. But you know what? We're both getting less and less busy because we're starting to release. We're starting to say, okay, we're going to turn this over to this person and I'm not going to do this project anymore. Even though the project sounds amazing, I'm not going to do it because it's just going to take up way too much of my time. One more example I'll share with you and then I'll let you go. My husband was involved in this one project. And he was so involved in it and just took up so much of his time and energy and he's exhausted and stressed and stuff like that. And, and now it's like getting to the end of it. And I told him, I said, honey, you don't really have to prove anything with that project. Just sell it. You can make a little bit of money with it or a lot, or even just get your money back and move on. I'm not going to think any less of you or whatever. We learned some great lessons. And, move on. There's so many other things we could be doing. We can use that money for so many other things. And so, it's like, he's like, oh yeah, you're right. I'm going to just finish out this project. I'm not going to do those kind of things anymore. And, there's so many learning things in our life that we can do. And there's so many things that are hard and that are somewhat even painful in some ways, either financially and physically we're exhausted or emotionally. And it's like we have to tell ourselves, what did we learn from that? We learned so many awesome lessons and it was just a stepping stone. It seems like every time I move to something else, that whatever I was doing was like a stepping stone to that. So whatever it is in your life that you're going through, whether it's hard, exciting, whatever, but mostly like the hard stuff that we get kind of frustrated with and think, man, I'm just living, this is just so hard, blah, blah, blah. The exciting thing is that somewhere in there, it's like you learned something from it. It's happened for me every single time. I look back at my life over the last 33 years of marriage, 33 and a half years of marriage, and there were wonderful times and there were hard times, and there were rough times, and financial stress times and happy times and things. And so you look back and you think the times that were kind of hard were the times that really made us have to just really stick together and to make it work. And I look back, like I say, even just going back to the marathon example that I always tell you guys about when I was running my marathon, and how hard it was for me to run that. But like when I was training for it, I remember like I told you guys before, like the first mile and then it was really hard. Then 3 miles was super hard. And I remember when I was running my marathon, I was on mile 9. I was just like running, and I was feeling amazing. And my sister called me on the cell phone. She's like, "Hey, what are you doing? What mile are you on?" I said, "Oh, okay, I'm coming on the half marathon mile pretty soon." And I remember feeling super strong. But I do remember when I was first training that it was so hard to even think about running half marathon, 13 miles. And then it became easy because we stepped it up, to have to run 26 miles. So when I hit the half marathon mile when I was running a marathon, that was easy, right? But that wasn't easy when I was first training. And so it is with life. And so it is with the painful points in our life and whatever it is. And, we all go through the painful and the hard times. And so, again, I forgot to turn on my recorder to record this for my podcast. I told myself it doesn't matter if my podcast anymore is like exactly perfect. We can have our laughs in there and it can have like our stalls and our uhs and everything like that. I need to start like putting it right beside when I make these recordings and just put it on there. And so anyway, I'm going to get back to my podcast. I'm going to be doing affiliate marketing. We're going to be doing Shopify, domain flipping basically, and back to my retreats and my personal development. Now that sounds kind of like a lot, but actually 3 or 4 of those are outsourced. I don't do any of it. I'm just going to work on my podcast and, my personal development stuff. I'm super excited about it because it just allows me to do what I enjoy, allows me to spend time with my husband, my kids, my family, traveling, and, just getting back to, what really is important to me. So it's been a fun ride in a lot of things. And like I say, I'm releasing and letting go of some of that, and it's feeling amazing. Hope this has helped you in some way. We should all be asleep. But I told my husband I would come in here and just do some last minute things. And I just wanted to share those thoughts with you because sometimes I have them. And like if I don't speak them, then I'll forget what I was going to say. So those of you, thanks for joining. Jeanette, thanks for getting on here. And I can't see all the comments because of the way that my camera is right now. But I'm sure, if you come on the replay, let me know. And let me know your thoughts. Let me know some of the things that you might be shedding, some of the things that you're releasing, some of the things that, the projects that you're releasing, and some of the ones that are able to come in because you're letting go, right? All right. I don't know what time it is anymore. I bet you it's about 12:30 in the morning. I have to get to bed. So do you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.